So with us is Daphne Caine. We're literally grabbing her before you go off to COP26 in Glasgow. Okay, why the Isle of Man going? Is there any need? What can you actually bring to the party here?
Well, it's both a learning and an experience for us to benefit from the knowledge that's there. We've got all the world leaders, we've got many businesses and the latest technologies. We're all facing similar need to reduce our carbon emissions, and this is an ideal opportunity for us to gain from the benefit of the contacts out there and also their knowledge.
And you're a true believer. I mean, I know obviously Laxton itself has got these issues, but you believe in that? I know you've got an electric car and that sort of thing as well.
I have, and I'm fortunate to be able to do that. But yes, Laxey has experienced the worst of the impact from climate change. We know we're getting significant rainfall events more frequently. But in terms of the Isle of Man, there's a journey to go on in terms of renewable energy generation.
Yeah.
Not only renewable energy generation, but in terms of people. Why wouldn't we want to go on a journey that makes air cleaner for people, makes a better environment and lowers heating bills through new technologies? So it's also an opportunity to see some of the people who will be promoting the latest technologies. And yes, there's definitely a lot of both learning and listening that I'm hoping to do.
How far do you take it? I mean, will you still be having your holidays in the sun and jetting here or whatever? I mean, do you have to follow these things yourself?
I think everyone has to be aware of their impact and their personal carbon emissions. I think we could look at the Isle of Man a way of offsetting. It's not ideal. As an island nation, we're going to have to accept that until planes are carbon neutral travel or not fossil fuel boiling, that the Isle of Man, both through ferry and air, will have those emissions because we can't exist without contact with the outside world. But I think it is on every individual to make certain lifestyle changes themselves that have a long-lasting impact on the environment.
So when you come back, what are you going to do? Are you going to be telling other people how to do things in future? Or?
No. I'm one of a team, and there's a lot of research, consultation that's been going on. And actually, there's a big acceptance, I think, from the Isle of Man community. The community wants to step up. The Isle of Man wants to see government lead and take action on these things, wants to build better, more sustainable homes, wants transport to be more environmentally friendly. So if we can learn what other countries, other nations are doing, and make the contacts to make the Isle of Man have more impact in that area in the future, then that's got to be a positive thing.
I'm back to Laxey and maybe you can bring in Ramsey and anywhere else in the Isle of Man. Your thoughts on the proposals as the tides get higher and the water rates go higher? Are we doing the right thing?
The presentation by the Department of Infrastructure on all the flood mitigation measures already undertaken and to be undertaken was very enlightening in the last couple of weeks. What has been established, especially with that very heavy rainfall over the weekend, there were issues. I think there was a broken culvert or something up Balaric that was having an impact, especially on the main road and up Rensell Hill as well. But actually, we did seem to have much more controlled, reduced surface runoff down Menorca, and certainly the river contained the bigger flow that it had. So I think that the measures already implemented have had a big impact. We need to talk about the seawall at some point, and now there's discussions that we don't want to spoil the amenity by putting in the climate measures that are needed. And on the seawall at Laxey, yes, the beach wall needs changing, but perhaps the seawall might go on the other side of the promenade. So protect people, protect property, but not change the amenity too much.
This will give you a bigger voice, won't it? Because you've been so against what the original plans were, and this should give you more voice in Tynwald.
Well, I think I'm very honoured to have this role, which is sort of cross-cutting it, because it involves so many departments and Manx Utilities, obviously in terms of energy generation and transport, our transport solutions. But it's all integrated from, as you've seen, we've had Chris Boardman here and the whole active travel and making streets, reducing the need for people to take car journeys by making the environment a pleasure for children and safe for children and people to make short journeys not in a vehicle, not in a car at all. So I think the other thing that we need to do is better, more sustainable homes. The whole policy over fossil fuel boilers and roof panels. Yeah. We've got the Green Living Grant Scheme. Over 1,000 people have already applied to have the home energy audit as the first stage towards receiving government funding. But I think that's also worth looking at that. And is that fair? Is that going to be a just green transition for the whole community? So I think I was delighted that Alf Cannon, Chief Minister, charged me with this role. First of all, we're looking at the structure of the Climate Change Transformation Board and how to make it most effective, and then looking at the various projects that we're doing. But it's all departments. Other departments will lead into this and feed into this, because we don't have all the great ideas, but we're able to listen to them and research them and take the best technologies. And I do think that the Isle of Man community generally wants to come along on that journey with us.